Witty Witty Banter. I'm Monica.
And I'm Paola. And today we have a burning questions that is really going to be more of an FAQ session, if you will.
Typically asked questions that we get a lot when we're performing or out networking, basically.
Or when we're just out with friends and family.
Yeah. And then we do have a Theary update for you guys. And we've been on him about making a graphic, so maybe this is our year. Maybe so. Hopefully. All right. So where do you want to start?
Yeah. So one of the most frequent questions that I get whenever I am performing, especially now that I have left the classroom and am transitioning to becoming just a full-time artist, people always ask me, like, how's it going?
Yeah.
How is this new lifestyle treating you? And I know you've been doing music full-time for a while now.
Yeah,
so
no, for sure.
I definitely want to see where your music career is going and what new things are coming up for you.
Yeah, well, you've hit a lot of milestones for sure.
Yeah.
Within the first 6 months, I want to say, of what you had set for yourself.
Yeah.
And so let me just say, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Because it's been a lot. It's been a journey.
It has been a journey. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But it's been good. It's been really amazing to be able to just focus on my craft.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean all that encompasses being an artist, which is marketing, social media, networking, your image, rebranding myself. For a really long time, I've had my ponytail, which is the iconic Paola look.
Yep.
And I recently, last year for my birthday, I bought a purple wig.
Yes.
And I've just kind of been using that for my performances, since I did write it off on my taxes.
Might as well at this point.
Might as well use it in my performances. And so I am starting to use that as like the new image for Paola. So I'm like trying to rebrand myself and just see where that takes me when working on content creating and marketing, not only for Sabor Puro, but for the podcast as well.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that people ask me all the time. They're like, how's the podcast going? I'm like, well, if you kept up, you would know.
Right. If you listen on Spotify,
tuned in.
YouTube, we're on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
You would know. Back, we've had 2 episodes out already this year. If you have not tuned into those, make sure to go check them out. And yeah, we've just been continuing to make content and planning to see where the podcast takes us. We were working with Create Texas still.
Yeah.
And we've just been on the go. We have the Epic Fest, the Vibe Fest, that's happening in February. So we're busy with the podcast for sure. Sabor Puro will be releasing our second single, Mil Gracias, which is already on YouTube with the AT&T Performing Arts Center.
Yeah.
But we are going to have an official studio recording of Mil Gracias, and Spencer has been adding his riz on the track, and it's been sounding amazing. So we just got another rough draft of it last night. I haven't heard it yet, but we should be releasing it sometime soon.
That's good.
So we'll see.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good. I've been super excited to see you do your original music. And I know what it's like to kind of like start off with having to do covers because that's what you have, you know?
Yeah.
And, seeing you thrive and seeing all the different music that you're going to be releasing.
Yeah, because it's going to be completely different than what we're used to. And I know I keep saying that every single time.
But it is.
It's just completely different because we're used to performing Sonora Dinamita cumbia.
Right.
Just like Colombian cumbia, Mexican cumbia, Selena, which are all very different subgenres of cumbia. And we are trying our best to honor our community, our Dallas roots, and make a new subgenre of cumbia, which is Dallas cumbia.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to mix all of the different diverse communities that we have, all the cultures that we have in Dallas, and all the influences that we've received through our education at Booker T, through our education in them streets, because we be learning a lot.
Yep.
And we're putting all that sauce into our stuff. And this next single is actually gonna be not a cumbia; it's more of a corrido ballad. And I'm just so excited to finally have Mil Gracias streaming everywhere.
Yeah.
So be tuned.
Yes.
Be tuned.
And when it does come out, when it does officially come out, we'll make sure that y'all know all about it.
Yes, for sure.
For sure.
And shout out to Dahlia. She's been working with me on the cover art for the song, and I'm really excited to finally share it.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
So what's new for 2025 with Monica and the band?
So we are definitely, and I've said it on, I believe, the last episode for the year of 2024, that I'm going back into the studio. We're going to do music videos. There's a lot of different things that I want to do. There's a couple of collaborations that are possibly in the works, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'm excited. My energy level is a little low, and that's to be expected.
But it's winter time, and we all know winter time is that time to rest.
It's hibernation.
Take it slow.
Yeah. No, and so ultimately, if y'all watched the last episode, we did an interview with Carlos Alvarez.
Yes.
And that is actually my producer. So
oh my god,
he produced Tres, the album, and then he's also helping me with the part 2. So I'm super excited to continue and go back into the recording studio. I do plan on releasing one of the singles from the part 1 of Tres, and it's my first mariachi song I've ever recorded. And of course, your girl's gonna have to go all out with the traje.
Yes,
if I'm doing mariachi, it doesn't feel right just to be.
Yes, you have to go all out. You have to lean into the culture.
Yeah. And so I plan on doing a music video sometime soon. We'll see when that happens. I'm hoping this month.
Yes.
I'm hoping this month.
Yes.
But we shall see. And it's gonna be good. I think it's time to get back into the recording studio. It's been a minute, and of course the band is still under reconstruction, but it's getting better and better. Yay. I'm excited for what's to come. Used to be where I'm just kind of like, okay, so this happened, okay, so this also happened, and then it doesn't really give you anywhere to be hopeful for. But then this new year came in, and I think everybody's just been ready to work.
Yeah, and release all the shit that happened in 2024.
Yeah.
We know, like we said in our recap episode of 2024, we know it could possibly get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
But we can only control what we can control, and we can control how we move through these crazy times and how we move with each other and how we treat each other. So I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah, and then the more that comes out with music, we'll make sure for everybody to know Paola's music as well as myself. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
it's already starting off to be a really good year.
It is. So. It is. I know. I'm like started off the year with my birthday show. We got a few inquiries for February. We have a show in March coming up. So yeah, lots of things already on the books, which is not normal for us. Like we were getting booked back in November for this year.
Yeah.
So it's like, ooh, we actually have like Cinco de Mayo already in the books. We've got a few other shows, like private shows already in the books. So it's like, okay, people are actually reaching out.
Booked and blessed and
booked, booked and blessed. Yes. A little stressed, but nothing God can't fix.
Amen.
So, yeah.
Amen. So now we want to move to Theary for a Theary
update. So Theary is going to update us on what he is looking forward to the last semester at UNT.
Yes.
So you're gonna let us know what you have coming up. I know you just started last week back into the groove of things. So what's to come? What are you excited for?
Okay, hello, testing. Are we good levels? Testing. Okay, that looks good. So yeah, so started my first week. We actually have already shot one of the short films I was working on.
Nice.
No Space Between. It's our advanced film, which I have my own gripes with how some of that went. But yeah, UNT advanced film. It's a class where we work on a film for the course of a whole year. My group wanted to kind of get the jump on it and
good.
shoot early. So I'm glad that we're getting that out the way. That essentially frees up a lot of my time because that's like a big commitment, and we're already done with it.
What was your part in the filmmaking?
So I was the director of photography / gaffer. For gaffer, that's the guy that like sets up all the lights.
Oh,
and
okay,
it was kind of weird arrangement where like I helped with the director of photography. It was a weird arrangement, but that so a lot of the like visual camera department stuff is what I did for that. But beyond that, I want to move on past that because there was a few traumatizing.
Oh no!
if I talked about it, we'd be here for 3 more hours.
It'll be the Theary show.
Yeah. So currently, I'm waiting for pitch day with Short Film Club because I'm going to pitch a film, and we're doing this whole. Me and my friend, we're doing this whole like coup of the club. We're trying to like take over, get me to direct one of them. It's called A Deal with the Devil.
Ooh.
So
what a name to be queuing.
Right.
Yeah. So this is about essentially it's a world where like devils are like corporate like wage slave like salaryman type things, right? And that's not that important to the plot, but our main character Jay, he's sitting there, his shift is over, it hit 5 p.m. and then boom, in walks like the worst Karen in the universe.
Oh, no.
And so it's kind of this like role reversal where the devil is not the literal devil, but instead the Karen. And it's also kind of like part of the bit is that they're talking about like selling her soul and all these crazy things like it's normal commonplace behavior.
Oh my gosh. In the corporate world.
Yeah. And
sounds about right.
For that, the kind of gimmick.
Wait, are you sure you're not talking about the music industry?
Are you sure you're not talking about one of the trends that are happening right now?
Yeah. Sell your soul.
It was loosely inspired by some actual like anti-corporate like themes, but that's not the point.
You know.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's not what it's about.
Right,
you can see it in my own personal beliefs through the writing. I mean,
okay,
if you want to come to that conclusion, that's
on you.
Yeah, that's all you.
I will not deny or confirm.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Of course, I don't know if it's actually going to happen. One way or another, I want to do it, whether that's independently or not. I have people who are backing it. So that's kind of like the big highlight. I've been working on this thing since like, dare I say, September?
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so
like I wrote the first draft of this like September of 2024. And slowly, every few days, I open it. I'm like, let's change this part. I have our casting call. I have our movie poster already done.
Dang.
Yeah. So I'm trying to like come up with a very compelling argument for when I go to the club pitch day, so I can just like steamroll a competition. That's kind of my goal.
Yeah, I know, because you already have most of the materials to promote it.
Yeah, and I've of course meticulously avoided working on like any creative decisions besides the script, so that people will get to.
It allows for people to come in and do what they do best.
Yeah. And so the reason this even came to be, because initially I just wrote the script, but initially it wasn't supposed to be anything. It was just a class assignment. The reason this happened, though, is because I've had some traumatizing experiences with directors.
Did he mention traumatizing experiences?
I've come to the conclusion that I'm more cut out to be like a leadership role in films than I thought.
Okay.
I've noticed that some people just don't pay attention
or don't have the communication
skills,
they
don't pay attention, they don't communicate, they don't like, it's almost like they don't have a vision at all, and they'll be the director and it's like, okay, you're doing this all wrong. Like there's so many things that I could tell you are going to go wrong, and they go wrong, and it's like, okay, well. And so I want to, I made a film one of the big underrated parts of film is art department. Like say, Wicked, right?
Okay.
If they didn't have all those lavish outfits and dresses and colors and those beautiful sets that they made, they wouldn't sell the story.
Yeah.
You can't sell the story. And so for some reason, student films never try to sell it. They don't spend a lot of time on making the like sets look real. So this all takes place in one set, like one lighting setup, all this stuff. But the whole goal is to actually make it quality. So we're not trying to be ambitious in concept. It's literally just a dialogue scene in one room. That's all it is.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's lots of props.
But it's more quality versus the quantity of the amount of scenes or the amount of sets, because you're really trying to focus on selling the story by adding costumes and adding the set, like making the scene feel like you're in that office with them. Okay, I feel you.
Like on my casting call, which I'll throw it up here.
Yes, you should.
It's like actors must be willing to wear contacts, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put them in like devil horn makeup from their foreheads, so we don't have to use like a trashy little prop over their heads.
Yes, you're gonna have to use prosthetics.
Yeah,
Do you have a call for like makeup artists as well?
So, there are makeup artists in Short Film Club. Okay. So that's going to be part of my pitch is like, if you're in art department, you're interested in art department, this is a very important kind of film to
you're going to need to know how to work with prosthetics.
Yeah.
You're going to have to,
And if not, my aunt actually does special effects makeup.
No way.
For movies. She's trying to break into that. And I was like, well, that would be perfect either way. So either way, I want to, for sure, I need that to happen.
Or you could even have your cousin like come do like a master class with like the people in the club who are trying to do special effects stuff, and so then she can have a little crew of makeup artists that she can direct. That could be cool.
That could be fun. Anything like that.
Right.
Yeah. So and I've already I've started kind of researching into what that process looks like. Doesn't seem too bad. Obviously, I'm not a makeup artist by any means, but I think it seems doable if I get the right resources. And everything.
For sure.
I plan on running a social media for the page because again, every time I see films make a social media, they'll post 3 times
and then it's over
and not promote anything. They don't
for real.
keep people in the loop. People stop believing in it. So I my whole goal is to just direct something that is done completely right, so I can teach the masses how to not do things wrong. That's a lot of what you see is just it's just wrong. And so there's that. Pretty excited to try and get that rolling. That's kind of my big plan.
Well, Godspeed to you, because
we'll
that's going to be a big project for sure.
Yeah,
and I'm going to be praying that you get the pitch.
Yeah. And then beyond that, of course, there's classes. I think classes wise, I have to make 8 short films or something.
And how long is your semester? 4 months? Roughly. Oof.
So that's gonna be a rough one.
That's
sure.
2 short films a month.
And honestly, I'm hoping, because one of them is directing narrative media. That class, every single person has to do every single project, not on their own, literally, but everyone has to turn in their own project instead of okay, make a group and you all submit this. It's you are all supposed to be the director, so you all have to submit your own projects. Luckily, I think I have enough people that I can make that work.
Good.
That's a little scary. And then for my cinematography class, I'm hoping to get in with anybody who has a similar mindset of let's do these really early and just ignore this class entirely. Let's get the ball rolling quickly. So we'll have to keep updated on that.
Yes, please.
And then, of course, the big thing for me, actually, not as big as the short film I want to do because I've done this for 4 years, but my job, recording services, is my last semester. It's been 4 years. It has been 4 years. They have done so many things for me, so many opportunities. And I'm their lead videographer these days. So, I get to do the 1 o'clock jazz band, the Wind Symphony, wind, or like the world premiere type things.
Wow.
So any of the cool events that we have left. I don't know if I've talked about recording services all that much.
I don't know if you have on the podcast,
not on the
like
show
too much. Like we know about it.
Yeah. So essentially that is like for the UNT College of Music, I'm in charge of running like recitals, concerts, opera, whenever that happens. We do the like audio and video for it. And we're actually, believe it or not, the biggest like media or like recording system in like all of college.
I believe it.
Colleges of music.
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't watched a UNT recording, like you can go on YouTube. Mm-hmm. They have UNT like archives.
Yeah.
And the quality of video and really, sound.
In fact, really also not to gloat, but a lot of the ones you see uploaded are actually me.
Period.
He said it.
Yeah.
Period.
Because again, the only ones who really care to upload it tend to be the wind studies, and then it tends to be the higher level wind studies, which goes to me because the wind studies are stressful because they actually like have a conducting assistant right next to you telling you, okay, prep the oboe, prep the flute, prep this.
Wow.
And so, yeah, that's how we like know what's happening.
So knowing when to switch.
Yeah, because I've never heard those pieces before.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
A lot of the times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that's how we know like what's going to come up is.
Right. Especially if you're going to be working with like world premiere type of content. You don't know what the heck is going on. You don't know who's coming up. And
no one knows what's going on. It's the first time it's been heard.
Right.
So
that's so cool.
Yeah. So a lot of those are me. And yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, I remember when I was in band in high school, I would use the UNT videos to like learn the parts because they do such a good job of like showing what's important.
Yeah,
the audio quality is so well, so you can like hear all the individual instruments. Not to mention the College of Music is just like phenomenal. Right. So like it's just high quality performances.
Yeah.
And so yes, this is my last semester there.
Wow.
Aww. And what even hurts more is I'm probably gonna have to step a little back and like not work as much for my last semester just because there is so much.
You said 8 short films.
Yeah, on top of the short film club one.
That alone is
And then I have North Texas Television. You know, a little club, not little club. It's like the biggest club.
It's the biggest club. Yeah, just a little club.
You know,
just a little club bowl over here.
Itty bitty.
It's a club I do I only do one show because it's another thing where I'm like, okay, maybe it's not the best use of my time.
Right. But, yeah, especially now that you have decided that you want to go into leadership roles in the film industry, then I'm directing
I'm just not
and
a leader
doing
in that club.
Right.
I'm just a cam op for that one. But.
Yeah, exactly. So no, you have to put yourself in the position where you're going to thrive the most and you are going to be utilized to your highest ability so that you can network and find the people who are right for you and so that you can have a good, thriving, successful career. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're excited to see what you got.
This is going to be a very, very trying semester, I think.
And then on top of everything, he's at Witty Witty Banter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course, still doing this. So.
We're so grateful for you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
I'm
for
also
being here with us.
maybe looking for internships.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right.
Oh, and we're also looking for sponsors, by the way.
Yes.
Yes. Please DM us or email us wittywittybanter@gmail.com. Part of the sponsorship will be for us to support Theary in his dreams and be able to give him a little extra something for coming out all this way, especially during this last semester, which is going to be pretty hectic for you. So
Denton is not around the corner. It's pretty far. So ultimately, we'll make sure to showcase what we're going to be doing as far as like sponsorships and the different levels.
Yes, you can check our social media. We do have it up on our Instagram. So go ahead and check out the different packages that we have available for sponsorships. And we would love to work with you.
Yeah. And that was our Theary.
Our Theary
update. I told him I want his head floating across the screen, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm still holding out for my Christmas present. So we'll see. We'll see how it all goes.
We'll see.
So the last question that we have, and we mentioned this before the show, was our musical process, whether that be writing, whether that be using a songwriter. How do you go about your musical process, and what is something that's been a struggle in that process?
Yeah. So I'm lucky that I have my band who all have different talents, and we've all kind of delegated the different like tasks that we each need to do. Kind of like unsaid, but we all kind of know what our strengths are, kind of thing. So for the longest time while I was teaching, Ethan and Spencer, Ethan is our timbal player and Spencer is our bass player. They were get together and just come up with tracks, and they would send it to us periodically, and then we would listen and we would like, oh, let's see what we can do with this, let's see what we can do with that. It wasn't until last year, or maybe like 2 years, 2023, towards the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, I really started getting more and more creative with my writing process. I used to set aside time for me to literally just write. So since I'm the singer and vocalist, I am the lyricist of the band for the most part. Ethan also has a lot of really nice verses, like in Estrellas Brillantes. He's the one who wrote pretty much the whole song. I just added the coro, the little cumbia coro there. And then Mil Gracias, I wrote the lyrics for that one completely. And then La Calle Me Llama, I collaborated with Ethan as well. And so we came up with like, we would go back and forth of like, all right, what did you write? What did you write? Ooh, these two go together. Okay, let's do that. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And so just like setting time to just flow, you know? So I really had to be intentional, especially because I was teaching and I didn't have a lot of energy or time to like just sit down and write for a lot of that time that I was teaching. And so I literally on Mondays I said I am not doing anything after school. I cannot stay. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna write. And so I would go home. I would either set up outside in the patio if it was nice, or set up in my desk area, or just like put some incense on, get on the yoga mat, and just see what happens. You know. When I wrote Mil Gracias, it was like Christian had 30 minutes before he was gonna get home, and I was like, okay, I have 30 minutes to get something in, and I need to write because then now once he gets here, we're gonna cook dinner, so like no more time. So I literally just like, okay, what would Karol G say? What would Bad Bunny say? What would Rosalia say? And I would just like like the song wasn't Mil Gracias whenever I first wrote it. Like usually we have little titles that Spencer and Ethan put on there. And I usually draw inspiration from the title to write it, you know? So like Naranja is one that they put the title Naranja. And so then that inspired me to like write about your media naranja. So in Spanish, media naranja means your soulmate. And so I kind of took a little twist and was like, oh, let me try you first to see if you really are my media naranja, you know? And so it has that kind of like sexy romantic vibe to it. But so that one I took a lot of inspiration from the title. But this one, the title was Mi Hogar Favorito es en tu corazón. I think that was the original title of Mil Gracias. And so I was like, okay, I could think about what this means, like mi hogar favorito es en tu corazón, so like my favorite place is in your heart. And it sounds like it's so sweet, and because the song is a very sweet like song, but it has like that corrido thing, I was like, man, I could go romantic with it, I could make a love song, but I was like, this song just feels too big to just make it about love. Or like a romantic type of love. And in that moment, I just felt like a rush of gratitude and was like, okay, how would Karol G express her gratitude? How would Bad Bunny express their gratitude? How would Rosalia express their gratitude? And I was like, how would I express my gratitude? You know, like, what would I say? Like, what can I even say? I don't even know. Like, and so I just started thinking of all the people who have been showing up, who have been supporting us through the process. And I was like, damn, Mil Gracias is literally not even enough. like I can't thank these people enough, you know? So I like literally I just start like, mil gracias, no es suficiente para expresar lo que yo siento, fondo dentro, momento. And I just like kept going and going and going. And I was just like, damn, that was the fastest song I ever wrote. That was like in 30 minutes, wrote like the whole lyrics of the song. And yeah, the rest is history for that. A lot of times I just ride in my car. I'd be driving.
Best place.
I'd be driving.
She's like, hold on.
And I just put on my recording memo and I'm just like ad-libbing or like, you know what, today was shitty. Let me sing it out.
Right.
You know, and I just like sing it out and then see, oh, that kind of was cool.
Going off like all Eminem and shit.
Yeah. You know, I get in the zone. I'm driving, like flicking people off. Nah. No road rage here. I'm pretty patient, but no, it like that's been my process so far with it. I know that as we continue to grow in our musical careers as a band, like it's just going to continue to get easier and just faster. We are working with Ben Hickson, who is mastering all our songs, and then eventually we'll master the whole album.
Nice.
And so it's just been one of those like, okay, send it over there. Let's hear it. Send it again. Let's hear it, you know, and it's just been a back and forth type thing. Spencer and Ethan, they're our producers. Like I said, like they've just been adding all these different elements, really honoring the cumbia culture and really honoring and appreciating the genre of music. And so it just makes me really proud, you know, that my guys, they saw the vision, they felt moved by cumbia, which is my biggest, like, I don't know,
that's what you want,
like accomplishment almost, because it's like the power of cumbia, you know, and the power of music. And it's just like they believed in my vision and what I love and my culture, and they're continuing the legacy by creating new cumbia music, Dallas cumbia, you know. And I'm just excited for what's to come next and like what the process is gonna evolve into. Christian does a lot of the arranging of the horns. And so he like adds different horn melodies, different horn harmonies. For an unreleased song called La Calle Me Llama, he basically created the melody for the song. Like we collaborated in that sense of like, oh yeah, let's do that. Oh no, let's take it this way. But for that one, he like heard a melody and he played it and we went for it, you know? So it's just been a big collaboration project, and each of us kind of add our little things. Felix, our guitar player, he has an insane ear for like embellishments. So like he'll add a little something on the guitar and it's just like mind blown. You know, so like we all have our little talents that just create the magic that is Sabor Puro. So that's our process.
That's awesome.
That's it.
Well, no, it's really cool because for me, when I work with music, I'm not a songwriter. I'm not gonna ever say that it's not possible, but for me, I'm not the most confident in my writing. So I typically work with songwriters that kind of already connect with what I'm going through. I try to do music as realistic as possible because I'm not going to sing a love song if I'm not in love at the time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to emote.
Yeah. I'm not going to be singing songs that I know nothing about. There's only ever been one song that we ever did, and it was called Soy Más Fuerte, which was talking about domestic violence.
Oh, yeah.
But it was in dedication of the writer's mother. So shout out to Jesse Villarreal. He was the one, the songwriter, the producer, the composer, everything. And then we just put my voice to the track, you know? I took it as this is me narrating a story. It was the most difficult one to do because,
that's
again,
tough, bro.
You're talking about something that, in a way, there's a few things that I could say, like, I've gone through, but not in the sense of that.
Not in that capacity.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
So my process of writing is ultimately working with somebody in the music industry, with Tejano, with whatever genre, really, because in all honesty, I'm open to doing...
Girl, you do so much.
Anything.
Yeah.
I worked with Carlos Alvarez on this last project, like I said, and then also working on the next part. But there's other producers that have helped or that have guided me along the way. Mario Ortiz being my very first producer with Este Dolor, my very first single.
Oh, I love that song.
And the songwriters that I use, Juan Trevino is one. He just won his Grammy, his very first Grammy, I believe,
congratulations.
a year ago. Yes, and for me, his songwriting is so exquisite and so intimate and so meaningful. The words are very difficult sometimes because of how much meaning are behind them. I've worked with so many people as far as like telling their stories, telling their heartbreaks. And lately I've been talking to Carlos, and he was like, "Okay, so what are you feeling right now? Like, what is it that you want to sing about right now?" I'm like, "Can we do like some happy shit? Cuz like here's the thing. If you notice, most of my music, it's sad."
I feel like sad songs are kind of easier to
They
sing.
are. They're a little bit easier to emote, especially whenever you are going through that. And that's what I was going through when I was singing these songs. And so, like, for example, the last two songs that I've done that weren't a cover, right? They were originals. Para Que is talking about thinking that somebody loved you the same way that you loved them, and then they leave you.
The 1 year curse we talked about in our first episode of 2025.
Yeah, basically. So Para Que is a sad song. It's a cumbia, but it's a sad song. Right. Por Tu Amor, he left again, you know.
That 1 year curse.
Yeah, leaving me to cry on my pillow, you know, and this is also written by Juan Trevino and Carlos. Yeah. And so when I was talking to Carlos, I was like, dude, can we do some happy?
Yes.
Can we do some hopeful? Can we do some empowering? I have a song on the EP that's called Yo Me Voy, but that's me leaving now, you know, like, let's do something happy.
I also like that song too.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. It's a different style.
It's a different style. It's like the Hano Cumbia almost.
Yeah.
Like, it's like very upbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
It's very fast, and sometimes I can't sing it, but ultimately it's one of my favorites. But again, it's a sad song. We're going to be releasing a single soon, and it's, again, the mariachi song.
Is it a sad song?
It's very sad.
Oh,
it's actually no, it's actually empowering, but I find it sad.
Okay,
too.
What is it about? So, give us a tea, girl.
It's called Dulce Venganza.
Sweet revenge.
Exactly. So what do you think about whenever you think sweet revenge? Like, you did me like this.
Yeah.
You did me like that. I would have done anything for you.
I can see how it can be empowering, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I was singing that one,
you felt that. You're like, you know what? You ain't gonna take over. It's my show.
So ultimately, when I am working with songwriters, they'll send me ideas, and then I'll message them back, and I'm just like, how the hell do y'all know what I'm going through?
Do you guys have a crystal ball? Like, what is happening?
I'm not very, with my personal life, until the podcast. My personal life was never broadcasted. I would never talk about relationships or family things or anything like that before this. So when I was working with these songwriters, I'm like, what the hell? Like,
how did you know that?
How did you know?
It's not even on my Instagram or my Facebook.
So I know what it is to sing about loss. I know what it is to sing about heartbreak and being sad, but also like being vengeful and then also leaving. So I'm like, but I'm also happy today. I'm happy. I'm in a good, healthy relationship. I'm hopeful. I want to sing about those things because it's a challenge for myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to singing about heartbreak. I think Dad was like, they're going to consider you like the Mexican Adele, basically.
Oh my God.
I'm like, that's a big compliment.
But you know what? I was about to say, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's a big compliment. But I'm like, but Adele also.
Girl, you could capitalize off of it.
But Adele also sings about love too. She sings about things that, you know, are not always down in the dumps.
Well, she used to just sing about the you know, the hardships of relationships or whatnot, you know.
So yeah, my musical process is a little bit different because my original music comes from people telling their stories, and then I get to verbalize it through my singing or bring it to life, more or less.
Right. So, you get the vision and you get to portray it through your voice.
Yeah. So it's been interesting for sure. But
nice. Yeah. Do you have any plans of like writing your own lyrics at any point?
I've written 2 songs in my lifetime, and they were good to me. but they're in English, right? So, and again,
are they released or
no?
Okay.
At some point, I want to cross over. At some point, Tejano has been nothing but nice to me. Like, it's been, very gratifying, and I feel very accomplished in where I'm at. But I feel like I could do so much more. And so I've always wanted to do some English. I've always wanted to do mariachi. I've always wanted to sing with an orchestra. So there's different ideas that I have. They're just not right now.
Right.
But yes, that is my writing process. I hope everybody is going to love what comes out of this year, because
we got music coming.
Yes. And then Theary has his
short films coming.
Yeah. So we'll definitely make sure to keep an eye out for that, for sure.
Yes. And we'll keep you guys posted, as always, on our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I don't know if it's going to be banned or not, or how long that process is going to take.
We'll figure a way out to talk to you guys.
Yeah. But DM us. If you have our numbers, text us any burning questions that you may have for next month. And as always, we love you guys and see you next week.
Bye.